Hey, it's Jack from Jack the Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Let's get into the market report for November, Massachusetts single-family homes. And as always, let's start with price. The price of your average single-family home in Massachusetts hit $763 last month. We had been experiencing a little bit of a slide in the late summer months, but last month and now this month, we've kind of held off the slide and now maybe regrouping a little bit to go higher. We'll have to see if there's some consolidation, but certainly no longer sliding according to the data that's recently out for October. Now, year over year, we are way up. As if you've been following your home value here in Massachusetts, you may have noticed that your value over the year has gone up. Last year at this time, average single-family home was $672, and over the course of the year, basically gained on average $90,000 in value for your average single-family home. Wow, I know that we had a couple of months that were, declining value, but still, year over year, that is a big jump for your average single-family home. Sellers continue to control the market. They're getting 101% of the original list price. Actually, I just got asked this question on YouTube. Jack, when you do this ratio, do you use the original list price? Yes, I do. I don't know if everybody else does across the country, but when I look at the data, and I pull this data from MLS PIN. When I pull this data, I use the ratio between original price, what you first listed it for, compared to what you actually finally sold it for. Otherwise, you can kind of cook the numbers a little bit if you don't do it that way. And consequently, sellers remain in control. They're getting 101% of list price on average across Massachusetts. Now let's talk about, I'm going to spend some time on this page here. I think it's very important, the inventory situation, which is in real time, right? This is real-time data. So right now, across Massachusetts, we have 4,600 homes, single-family homes for sale in Massachusetts right now across the state. You can see as say about April or so, there's been a somewhat uneven trend upward, increasing the inventory. But when you look over year, we're still actually 605 homes less than last November, even though we had a huge run-up in inventory in September, up 19% in total volume of homes available in September, up 5% in October, but we're still not where we were in November of last year. We're still 605 homes off of that. So the all-important inventory number hasn't really moved. And consequently, until that, I've been saying this for a long time, until we really see that move closer to 6,000 or even go over 6,000, I don't think we're going to return to anything like a buyer's market until we actually get to that kind of level of inventory. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out what's been happening in the mortgage market. This is the chart of the 30-year fixed mortgage from Mortgage News Daily. And during the month of October, we started off the month of October at about 7.6, and then we moved all the way up to 8%. In the middle of October, and then since then, we took a giant dip down in mortgage rates last week in early November. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I personally think that this is an aberration, and I do believe that mortgage rates, sadly, are going to go higher. That's kind of just my look at it in terms of government spending. The borrowing that is on the horizon, I think, is going to move interest rates higher. That's just my look at it. I'd be happy to be wrong, but we've seen over the last week here in early November a giant move down in mortgage rates. And again, I'm happy to be wrong about this. We'll see if that ripples through the November, December, and or January numbers. Going to keep a very close eye on that. Days to offer held very steady, held 22 days. That's where it's kind of been hovering, 22 to 18 days for quite some time now. and that means you're basically putting your house on the market and accepting an offer in 3 weeks. Pretty quick. This number cannot, you've probably heard me say this before, really can't get any lower than 10. So 22 is a fairly good number. Some houses sell in 2 or 3 days. Some might take a lot longer. On average, 3 weeks from when you list it to when you accept an offer. That's a damn good number for sellers. And my fellow real estate agents, and brokers, they're definitely feeling the fact that there's just not a lot being sold. In October, we had 3,076 single-family homes being sold. Year over year, that's a decline of about 600 homes. Last October, we had 3,600 homes sold. So if you're putting your house in the market, it's still a desirable quantity product because there's just not a lot of other people putting their house on the market. Again, because of this interest rate lock that we've talked about. So what does the future look like? Well, let's take a look at pending home sales. Last month, we had 3,668 go to pending in Massachusetts, single-family homes. Year over year, that's a slight decline. We had 4,000 go pending last October. So another good sign for sellers. There's just not, as we said, a lot on the market. So the overall market remains strong for sellers. I want you to keep an eye on two things. Not only the Federal Reserve, but the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, and how much debt they issue, because there is a divergence between what the Federal Reserve says at interest rates versus the actual mortgage rate. Those don't actually always line up, just to keep in mind. So there are two basic levers of mortgage rate and inflation. One is what the Fed does in terms of regulating the money supply, and the other one is Congress and how much they spend. And the simple fact of the matter is it seems as if Congress is going to be spending a lot of money, already spent a lot of money, and now we have to pay for it, now we have to refinance it. That's why I am not very confident about a long-term downturn in interest rates. I think we'll go back to 8 and even surpass that. I'd love to be wrong, but time will tell. All right, so I'm Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.